Hey everyone! Welcome back to The Wolf Diaries. Today, we're diving deep into the world of Tyler Perry's Sistas, but with a critical eye on Season 7, which has left many of us scratching our heads and wondering what happened. If you've been following the show, you know it's all about beautiful Black women navigating their lives and relationships in Atlanta. But this season? Well, it felt like a complete shift away from what made the show so compelling. So, what went wrong? Why did Season 7 feel so underwhelming compared to its predecessors? Let's break it down. Welcome to The Wolf Diaries. Let's start with a bit of context. For the first 6 seasons, Sistas gave us a mix of drama, humor, and real-life struggles centered around our 5 leading ladies: Andy, Karen, Danny, Fatima, and Sabrina. Even though the pace might have been slower, there was always a sense of cohesion and growth in their storylines. Tyler Perry's writing, though sometimes can be considered as lacking, especially when it comes to writing female characters, had somehow a way of making us invested in their journeys. Fast forward to Season 7, and the only good things we can say about the show was the hair and wardrobe looked great, and the pacing was a little better. Other than that, the show feels like it's totally lost its way. The focus has shifted dramatically, and not in a good way. One of the biggest disappointments is the regression of key characters like Zach and Andy. Remember how Zach went from being a bumbling mess in Season 1 to someone who was starting to show real growth? And Andy's journey from being unsure and insecure to showing some signs of her getting her power and independence back, especially after Gary thoroughly disrespected her in front of the new man she was getting to know. Well, in Season 7, it's like the writers hit the reset button. Zach is back to his old inconsiderate ways, and Andy seems to have regressed to her Season 1 flaws. It's like 6 seasons of development were just tossed out the window. What's especially perplexing is that this season, Tyler hired 3 female writers in addition to 3 male writers to bring in a fresh perspective. You'd think this would mean a stronger focus on the female characters, right?
Wrong.
Instead, Season 7 has placed an even greater emphasis on the men in the show, overshadowing the women who are supposed to be the heart of the series. It's a stark contrast to the show's premise, which is about Black women navigating their lives and relationships. This shift feels like a disservice to the core of what made Sistas special. It's baffling to see the show's focus shift so dramatically towards the men's storylines. From Zach's endless drama and just utter foolishness, to new male characters taking center stage, it feels like the show has completely lost its balance. The women, who were once central to every plot twist, now seem to be relegated to secondary roles, and that's frustrating for fans who tuned in to see their stories. And don't get me started on the quote-unquote brilliant idea the writers had of turning the whole 7th season into the Gary show. Because why again is a TV show titled Sistas end up with storylines that clearly just happen to be tributaries of Lake Gary? Seriously, it's like the whole season was dedicated to all roads leading to Gary and most had zero and unearned foundation. And even with all that build-up that they had teased throughout the season, the finale ended up being so lackluster and not as nail-biting and teeth-chattering as they had hyped it to be throughout the season. And on top of all that, don't get me started on the writers acting frustrated by the fact that the fans were able to dissect and analyze the trailers and different promotional materials, coming up with even better storylines than what they proudly presented as the finished product. Isn't this why social media is one of the best tools ever invented, bringing people and communities together, so they can share thoughts and opinions on what they hold near and dear to them. So, how are you going to be offended that the audience was able to foresee the direction your writing was going, and they get to call you out in real time? What happened to taking criticism and going back to the drawing board and putting out even better end products? What's even more astonishing is the old heads are not learning from what's happening to major studios like Warner Brothers and Disney. The times when you'd easily present your audience with material chock full of utter mediocrity is done and gone. The audience now has a voice to loudly voice their opinions if all studios are putting out our subpar materials. And it all starts with whatever stories are being put on paper. Anyway, I digress. The contrast between Tyler Perry's earlier writing and the new direction taken by the writers is striking. While Perry's storytelling might have been slow at times, it always maintained a sense of direction and character growth. In Season 7, that cohesion is missing. Characters we once loved and related to are now stuck in a loop of repetitive drama, and it's hard not to feel let down. And let's not ignore the numerous amounts of filler episodes this season, and there being an obvious lack of cohesion from episode to episode. Instead of pushing the story forward, we were bogged down with filler that did little to enhance the main narrative. Furthermore, some of the storylines would just pop out of nowhere, and as Day One fans, we were left wondering where on earth did they pull some of that drivel from. For instance, when did Gary and Hayden all of a sudden become college mates? When have we gone a season of Karen and Andy not having a one-on-one convo? When did Fatima start referring to her cousin as Madam? I could literally go on and on. All in all, this approach not only slows down the show, but also makes it feel like it's treading water rather than making meaningful progress, and every episode feels like a different show week after week. So, what's the takeaway here? Season 7 of Sistas has struggled to maintain the momentum and focus that made the earlier seasons so engaging. The regression of beloved characters and the shift towards male-centric storylines are major disappointments. And the ratings, especially after the mid-season, are a true testament as to how a majority of the fans feel about the direction the show is headed. It's a reminder that, sometimes, even with the best intentions, a show can lose its way when it strays too far from its roots. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Season 7. Did you feel the same way, or did you find something redeeming about the latest episodes? Drop your comments below, and let's discuss. If you enjoyed this review or have your own insights, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more content from us. Until next time, let's hope the dragons of storytelling return to their fiery best. Thank you for joining us on this captivating journey. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and/or subscribe for more delightful content, and I'll see you on the next one.